Isaac Hernandez.
I'm Holly McClure.
And this is Faith on Film, a program designed to keep you aware and informed on everything that's happening in the world of faith and family entertainment. Holly, are you staying cool?
I've got my sundress on and I'm trying to stay cool in Texas. It is something to get used to, that's for sure.
It is very hot in Texas, but we got a hot show today. Got a great show today, don't we?
We do have a hot show. Lots to talk about.
Lots, very packed. However, before we even get started with anything that has to do with entertainment and Christian films and TV and whatever else we talk about here, there's something very important that I just want to touch upon, because I think it was a great accomplishment for our country. And even though by the time people see this show, it'll be at least, 3 days ago that it happened, and in some cases, maybe even several weeks. But as we're taping the show, it literally happened just yesterday. What am I talking about?
And it's going to it'll probably be in the press for months to come. Roe versus Wade. And the fact that the Supreme Court, made a decision. And I think there's so very few chances that we conservatives, Christians, Republicans, whatever group you want to fit into, libertarians, feel that you get a win. And I feel like we got a win yesterday. And that's what inspired us. And not only did we get a win, babies and God got a win. I think God's voice came down, and it was, it feels good to have something positive, and to if it saves one baby, it's worth it. And I'm excited about it. And it feels like, thank you, Lord. There's a compass that's shifting, it's swinging.
It is. And, I kind of, in the spirit yesterday, I felt like darkness has been kind of covering our country for quite some time now. And I felt like yesterday that was removed, and God's hand of grace and mercy was coming back on us. Amen.
I agree with you. I think you're so right. It felt like, okay, Lord, there's a breakthrough from the Supreme Court. And actually there was two breakthroughs with the gun law that came through for New York. So the Supreme Court handed down two things within a week that the left is just spinning still, going crazy over. And it's funny because I watched some of the reactions on the left, and it really brings out the craziness in people, doesn't it? It brings out how, you're so against women, and it's not against women. Women are still going to get abortions. There's still states that give abortions, and you still can get them. But some states, like Texas, it went retro. And for some states, it was immediately like, okay, now, no more, it's done. And I'm so happy and so proud to be in this state, Isaac, that took that stand and says no more abortions. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I totally understand. And what was sad to me, though, was that I'm seeing Christian people on Facebook talk about how mad they are that this decision was made. I don't understand it. I just don't get it.
I want to say something, but I don't know if I should. I don't know how you can call yourself a Christian and approve of killing a baby. And that's what it is. And I don't care what you want to call it. I don't care how you want to call it. We just had some friends in a church situation at my daughter's church. And I know him, Zach, and his wife. And they just had babies born at 23 weeks. And they were twins. And one of the twins died because they were not conjoined, but their blood was infused, their veins. So one of them didn't make it, one of them made it. And she posted something and holding her now 25-week-old baby, saying, what would have happened if this baby had been aborted? And she's got a little personality, and she smiles, and it's a baby. And it was born at 23 weeks. So when you see it live in the flesh, it brings into reality what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah. Now, I do blame entertainment and media for where our culture has gone with this, including Christian people, because they've been for years now indoctrinating us into believing that this is a good thing, that this is normal, that it's okay to abort, that it's okay to all kinds of things. And we don't want to get into this because it's technically not what the show's about, but that is what the show is about, isn't it? About trying to bring a more knowledge about what the media is doing to us, and bring out movies that kind of change that culture, or give us the what we're supposed to really be like in terms of what
Right.
God's
And the
purposes
influences.
are for us. The influence, yes.
And the influences, it shows how we are influenced by media. We're influenced by culture. We're influenced by all the women's rights, which cracks me up because we have a Supreme Court justice, if I remember correctly, who couldn't even define what a woman was. So not sure how that, got passed. But and so many movies out right now. I think one of them that's out right now is one we're going to talk about, right? That's influencing.
Yes, it is. But before we do, there's another great thing here that has happened, and we alluded to it on our last show, gave a little bit of teaser, and that is that we have some amazing news. What is the news, Holly?
That's right. I am now a full-time member of Capernaum Studios, and I am not only a marketing director, but I'm also in promotions and producing, and I am excited to be part of Capernaum Studios. I am thrilled with it. It's a place where I think a lot of dreams are going to be made. A lot of filmmakers are there. If you've seen The Chosen and you've watched The Chosen, then you've already seen the sets that are on our studio lot. Right. You've already seen The Village because that's where season 1 was filmed and part of season 3. And I'm excited. In fact, we're going to have an event, Isaac, on July 2nd. It's the Freedom Fest event at Capernaum Studios. And by the way, if you wonder where it is, and well, if you know where Fort Worth is, look to the left of Fort Worth, there's Weatherford. Look straight up from Weatherford, and in between Weatherford and Poolville is Capernaum Studios. And you can go to Capernaum, Capernaum Studios.com to find out where we are and find out more information, CapernaumStudios.com. And you can find out about Freedom Fest. It's going to be July 2nd. The community is going to be there, and they're going to have a reenactment of the Revolutionary War, and they're going to have John Adams, and the British are coming. You're going to have a lot of characters, Paul Revere, who you're very familiar with in history, celebrating our nation's independence.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's show a quick clip of what Capernaum Studios is all about, because there might be a lot of people out there that have no idea what we're talking about here. So they can take a look at this, and while they're seeing this, I'm going to go fix that light that just went off on us, all right?
Okay.
I'm jealous. I want to work there.
It is a fun place to work. And I'm just watching that going, oh, that's right. We have the gardens, which is an amazing thing to tour through and go through the beginning of time to the end of Christ's resurrection. There's even a tomb there you can see. And like I said, the village where they shot The Chosen. that's there. And it's just, you guys have to come see. It's a great place to come. And we've had many homeschool people come and bring their kids and say, oh, I wish all homeschoolers could come to this, and Christian schools, and learn about his story, like she said in there, Jesus' story. So love working there. I'm very proud. In fact, let's do behind the scenes. I want to have you come up. We're going to shoot a behind the scenes of Capernaum and actually be on the lot and show what's going on there.
Let's do a show with a whole tour of the place.
Let's do it.
All righty. Well, now let's get to some of the other content that we're going to be talking about today, which of course has to do with, in this case, Hollywood movies that are coming out, because Hollywood is starting to put out some movies now that COVID is somewhat over, I guess. Hollywood is really coming back out. And the only thing is that it's coming out a little different than it has been in the past.
Well, all I can say is I'm glad that it started off this summer with a bang with the Top Gun movie, because that really brought people together in a fun, entertaining, no agenda movie. And of course, it's the world box office, going towards $1 billion, literally like 800 million and climbing. And it's just done so well. And I'm so happy because it's a good movie to applaud and be proud of. And that started this summer. And then Jurassic Park Dominion, and we'll talk about that a little later. That's done really well this summer, earning 400 million and climbing, and that's doing great. And then the new movie that's come out that I want to kind of hit, there's two films out that I want to make sure we hit for parents and for adults and for anyone without kids to be aware of. Is the first one is Lightyear. And this is Pixar's new movie that actually looks like a Disney movie. And of course, it's based on the Buzz Lightyear. Okay, basically the premise is that the Buzz Lightyear Toy Story, okay, the reason that action figure was made was because of a movie. So it opens up the Lightyear movie saying, this is the movie that was watched that began the toys for the Buzz story, right? The Buzz Lightyear in the story, Toy Story. Only problem is, Tim Allen, who was the toy voice, of course, they're making a movie which would have been the same, but people didn't like it because politically he wasn't a part of it. The story is basically about Buzz and how he and his partner get stranded on a planet, and 1,200 of the passengers of their because they were looking for a new world, a new place, they get stranded. And then of course it's what happens when they're trying to get off that planet, and he's trying to find fuel to get off of it. He goes through time travel, which about every 4 years he's off doing it. It comes back. It's only been a few minutes for him, but it's sped 4 years beyond. And so his partner, who has stayed on Earth, meanwhile has married another woman and had a son. And every time he comes back, he sees the woman, the son. Then they've had a daughter, her granddaughter. And then, of course, that character ages, and you have to go through the sad part of losing a character, and then seeing what Buzz, who he has to fight. And the evil guy that he fights is Zurg, Z-U-R-G, Zurg. Now, in the Toy Story movie, Toy Story 1 and 2, they're talking about Zurg and fighting Zurg, and it ends up, Zurg in Toy Story 2 ends up being Buzz Lightyear's father. But in this movie, they make it a little different. And James Brolin is the voice. And of course, I forgot to say Chris Evans is the voice of Buzz Lightyear. So I think they used, a Marvel character, Captain America, to be the Buzz Lightyear. There are so many reasons of why this movie has failed. It started off box office, only was 51 million, and it's struggling. It was a $200 million budget, and they're not going to make that. I mean, it literally it was at 51, and as the word gets out, it's even worse. And there's many reasons why. Didn't star Tim Allen. Nobody asked for a Buzz Lightyear follow-up. No one asked for it. Should have been on Disney Plus. In my opinion, it could have gone straight to Disney Plus. The action is, for adults, it's probably more adultish. For little kids, they're going to wonder, well, why is he going, and when he comes back, why is there this time travel? Why is everyone older? They're not going to understand the time travel aspect of it. Then there's like octopus creatures that grab people by their feet and pull them down into a hole. And so there's creatures that actually get people, and some of them you don't see again. And then it's supposed to be funny, but it's not. The kids are afraid of that. There's darker characters and robots. I mean, it's a darker movie. And what I realized coming out of it, I didn't have any fun. I didn't laugh. I didn't enjoy it. Like a Toy Story, you expect with Toy Story, oh, we're going to laugh at the characters and it's going to be lighthearted and fun. It's not lighthearted. It's dark, and it's not an enjoyable, fun thing. And I don't think little ones will be confused. It's not a kid-friendly movie to me, and I wouldn't take children to it. It should have been on Disney Plus. Probably one of the biggest, most controversial things is the LGBTQ, the relationship between the two women, because they do kiss on screen. And what was funny to me is, Isaac, this is supposed to be the movie that started the toy. So, okay, I know it's an animated movie and I know it's not real, but let's say it was the movie that Andy saw from Toy Story in 1995. I'm sorry, but in 1995, you would have not had two female characters married, kissing on screen,
Right.
and then with a child. You just wouldn't have. And so if storyline, I don't think it even fits the story. So that was unreal. Second of all, they're on a planet that they just crash landed on and they're trying to get off of, and the people have to rebuild a community to survive. So how do two women, I mean, they don't have in vitro, I would assume. See, if you're trying to make sense of this story, which I know it's an animated, you're not supposed to, but so how did two women get a little boy? You know, I mean, the boy and then they show years and years and the people in the population grew, but there's just things that were forced into this movie, and all of us know who all of us saw those recordings of the person that was head of animation, and she said, we're going to put a gay and lesbian character into every movie and the lifestyle and everything, and this is our agenda, and we're pushing it. If that had not been released and said, I don't think people would even be so aware of the agenda that's there, and I think that's what the backlash is to the agenda as well.
Well, and let's talk about that a little bit, because we've learned about the movie itself, but the agenda here. You said they didn't have Tim Allen be a part of the movie because of his politics. So let me get this straight. The people that say that we should be inclusive, the people that say that we should be, that we should be accepting of people, are not accepting somebody and not including somebody because they don't agree with them?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, now the thing is that I guess I heard that they asked him to be in a Santa Claus series. So Disney, because, Tim Allen made money for him. The funny thing is you can be all about your politics until you realize you're not making money. And they lost a lot of money on this movie, and they were embarrassed. They've been embarrassed by Lightyear, Disney has, because now they have to stand by their agenda, which they're so proud to proclaim. But the people have rejected it. The public has rejected it. It got 78%. So yeah, they didn't like his politics, and he was not. They wanted to ban him from being Buzz Lightyear. Yes, Tim Allen is 70 years old. Yes, he's older. So could he have played a younger Buzz Lightyear? Well, it would have been cool to have him come in later on in the movie. It would have been cool to have his character, Buzz Lightyear, come in later on in the story. I mean, they could have done it better, but they changed the storyline that Zurg now is the older Buzz Lightyear from a different dimension. So it's the same guy from a different dimension. Well, in Toy Story 2, it was his father. So once again, they changed it. They ruined it. They did it to themselves. I don't feel sorry for them.
I'll tell you what. Let's watch the trailer just to see what the movie itself is like.
Okay.
And, we'll see what the.
We'll let you decide.
Yes.
A year of work for a 4-minute flight. Isn't that something?
We're all ready if you are, sir.
Well, let's go find out if this...
We got a breach in the perimeter.
Thank you. Buzz Lightyear mission log. After a full year of being marooned on this planet, our first test flight is a go. Let's get everyone home.
Good luck, Captain. We're all counting on you!
Roger that.
There's a star waiting in the sky.
Hello, Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
We'd like to come and
We're being pursued by just a massive robot.
waiting in the sky.
That was utterly terrifying, and I regret having joined you. Buzz,
Lightyear!
Let all the children begin.
I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise, whale calls.
No. White noise is fine.
Very well.
Good night, Socks.
Good night, Buzz.
Huh.
What
I
did
noticed.
they conveniently not show?
I was just going to say that to you. It was like, okay, I don't see this kiss thing.
No, conveniently they didn't show the gay characters. They didn't show any of that storyline or plot line. They wanted to show the action. And like I said, Chris Evans did a good job of voicing it. I mean, I had no problem with him being Buzz's voice or that character for the movie. It's not that. It's just everything else in the content. It should have been on Disney Plus. And there's no slam to Disney Plus because they've got a lot of great things on there as far as, stories and films. But I just don't think that's why it's not working at the box office. It's just not working because people are, plus, Isaac, it's expensive to go to the movies these days. If you take a child and you go to the movies and you have to buy stuff.
Yep. I know.
So if you're going to spend $50 or $60, you better like the movie you're going to go see.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you did go see another movie, though. Should we show the clip first and then talk about it?
Let's show the clip first because it'll make more sense to what I'm saying about it.
All right. Hold on here. I just got to...
From Baz Luhrmann, the director who reimagined Shakespeare, reinvented the musical, and redefined a classic, comes a bold new vision of an American icon.
But this ain't no nostalgia show. We're gonna do something different.
Comic book heroes all find their superpowers. Elvis found music.
Bring that bass up, Jerry.
I wish to promote you, Mr. Presley.
I believe I can be great. Some people wanted to put me in jail. So well's moving.
Don't so much as wiggle a finger.
I'm gonna show you what the real Elvis is like tonight.
In that moment, Elvis the man was sacrificed. And Elvis the God was born.
I would do anything to make sure my mama and daddy never have to live in poverty ever again.
I think if you dream it, you'll do it.
You do?
Yeah.
Colonel, you put an end to your boy's animal behavior, or we will.
There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. But in the end, you gotta listen to yourself. You bled me dry and you still want more?
I am a promoter. That is what I do.
The way you sing is God-given, so there can't be nothing wrong with it.
Are you ready to fly?
I'm ready to fly.
Elvis, rated PG-13, Friday.
Oh, please tell me this is a good movie to watch, because I'm a huge Elvis fan.
And that's the problem. So many of the fans are going to go, oh, I want to see Elvis. Okay, first of all, I got to tell you, Austin Butler, that kid, I don't know how he survived making this role for the gyrations and the singing and the twisting and the, what he had to do, just that alone, applause, because that guy nailed it. And the voice and the speaking voice, and you hear Elvis and you're like, oh, and even the looks on stage, and it was amazing. So he came through. Baz Luhrmann, remember Moulin Rouge, Isaac? I don't know if you saw Moulin Rouge or The Great Gatsby.
I did. From an artistic perspective, yes, it was an amazing film. If you like just the art. Other than that, I don't know. I don't even know what it was trying to tell me.
Okay, well, you just described Elvis.
Exactly. Oh. Okay, so it was beautifully shot, because the trailer did show beautiful scenes, beautiful, artwork, if you will, of great shots.
Yeah, first of all, let me say, but Baz Luhrmann has a style with his music that is not a traditional musical, and he throws a lot in there, so there's always a lot going on. So yes, we do see Elvis from a small boy, shoeless, poor, being raised in a black community because his mom didn't have enough money to live anywhere else. He goes in Tupelo, Mississippi, and that's where he's raised, and he attends a black church, and it's charismatic and Pentecostal, and they show him getting the Spirit. So you realize, okay, he's been introduced to religion at a young age, and a relationship, a spiritual relationship. His mom was a spiritual person, very Christian. And then it shows him going through the different eras of Beale Street, where he, in Mississippi, that's where he would listen to black artists, B.B. King and other great blacks, Mahalia Jackson and other people. So he went to Beale Street. They show Beale Street. They show the Hollywood era. They show the military. They show marrying to Priscilla, the Vegas. So they hit all the high points of what he did, okay, in those areas. And then they show, this is it. I think one of the few characters Tom Hanks has played where I literally hated this character by the end of the movie. It's like he's annoying. It's just, you despise him. Because Colonel Tom Parker bled Elvis for everything, literally worked him like a dog, took most of his money, and bled him dry, where he had to work in Vegas. And one of Elvis's dreams was to travel worldwide and revive his career and internationally go see people. And Parker, because of his illegal things from his past, couldn't leave the country. Colonel Tom Parker wasn't even his name. He made that up. He wasn't a colonel. He wasn't in the military. He made it up. And he was a showman. He was from the circus. He was a flim-flam man. And that's what he learned to do, is to con people. And so he wouldn't let Elvis go on the world tour because he couldn't travel and go on the world tour. So he trapped Elvis in having a 5-year contract in Vegas, which was what killed him at 42 years old, of drug overdose and exhaustion, because the poor guy was just exhausted and worked to death, and upset and angry because he realized the colonel had cheated him. And everyone that he loved, his mother died, his father even cheated him out of money. And Colonel Parker, who was like a father figure. So there's some great music. There's some scenes where the girls are screaming and you relate with the audience that fell in love with Elvis. But I wanted to see more of the side of Elvis that was a conflict with his religion and a conflict with himself. There's language. GD is all the way through this movie. And that upset me too, because I don't think Elvis's mother would have been saying GD this. I don't think Elvis would have been saying that to his mother. There's language, and I don't want to judge Baz Luhrmann's spiritual thing because I really don't know. But as a Christian, if you're a Christian, you're not making your character say GD all the way through the movie. And even if you're trying to be sensitive to someone and show a spiritual relationship, you wouldn't do that. It just doesn't make sense. So since no one was there and could say what the conversation was, he took liberty with it. I do know that Elvis's girlfriend in his latter years, the one that lived with him, toured with him, was with him in probably the last 6-7 years of his life. She wouldn't even mention her character wasn't in there, which she would have given great insight to what happened on those touring years and those last years. Also, his cousin who lived with him, they didn't ask him for his advice on the character or pursue asking what he thought. Now, Priscilla did approve of it, and Lisa Marie did approve of it, and they said that he really captured Elvis. So. Wow. But that's because Priscilla was highlighted and featured as the love of his life, and they focused on that.
Well, unfortunately, I can't believe this. We have completely run out of time. I think we can still talk about Elvis, even some more. And of course, we got Jurassic Park. Maybe we can pick it up on the next show.
I think there's a lot to talk about, so we'll do that on the next show. Really is.
Folks, don't forget, you can write us at faithunfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithunfilmtv@gmail.com. And you can watch a lot of our past shows on YouTube. Just look up Faith on Film TV. Go to YouTube and look up Faith on Film TV, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Holly, we've run out of time.
Once again.
See y'all next week.
It was fun.